Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. I will be your host, Thrones, bringing you a role-playing build known as the Outlaw. The Outlaw in a nutshell is a role-playing build intended specifically for a niche casual playstyle, questing around and all-around normal content. It is not made for veteran content, nor is it made for any type of min-maxing or difficult content, trials, etc. The build revolves around being, as the name implies, an outlaw, criminal by its very definition. Investing basically being sneaky, pickpocketing, not being detected, and when detected to be able to escape easily. Resources to bribe officials, establish a black market of stolen goods, and maintain a network of informants in the outlaws' refugees. And now for the build. For the build, I have chosen to play a Khajiit in this case. It is subjectively really good for sneaking all around because it does offer us the feline ambush of the Khajiit skills. Decrease your detection radius and stealth by 3 meters. This will help us a lot with the other sets that we have in mind. We also have a cut purse, increases your chance to successfully pickpocket, and for that reason we are going with the Khajiit. I also picked a Nightblade, however, you can play it on any race. The only reason I picked Nightblade is because Nightblade has an additional bonus to sneaking under the Shadow skill line with Veiled Strike, which gives us a little bit bonus of more movement speed while sneaking. But it is not mandatory. This build can be played on any race and any class. However, this combination will give you better results than the other one. But keep in mind, this is a purely role-playing build, so with that said, go wild. For our attributes, we went full on stamina, just because we can sneak even more with that, maybe roll dodge a couple of times here and there. We're going with the Steed Mundus stone, because it gives us even more movement speed. It also applies to a sneaking one. Right now, currently, we have a sneaking speed of 70% and we have a sprinting speed of 165%. We will come to the gear later on. However, I did not maybe say this in the intro, but I will say it right now. This build, the whole purpose of this build is just sneaking around, avoiding fights. It is not made for killing. Primarily, however, you can add a little bit of killing here and there. That's why we went with the Outlaw rather than the Thief Guild type of guy. However, you can also go with the Thieves Guild with the same character or the same template. Just use it however you want and morph it into your own status quo. Basically, the whole concept is just sneaking around, pickpocketing, and looting everything there is to loot, and then making a little bit of gold in there. It's a fun concept. For the title I went with Master Thief because it's only fitting, so yeah. For the gear, we went with 3 sets. No monster set, no arena, and I will not go with the second bars because this build itself is only a template, a rough template of how you can potentially play your build. For the first set, we are going with Dark Bray, 4 pieces only. The reason why we're going with this set is reduces the radius you can be detected while sneaking by 2 meters and reduces the cost of your sneak by 25%. So combined with being a Khajiit, that's 5 meters already. The second set we are using is Night Mother's Embrace. It reduces the radius you can be detected while sneaking by additional 2 meters and reduces the cost of your sneak by 25%, so that's 2 more meters. And for the third set we are going with, where is it, Night Terror. 3-piece item set, reduces the radius you can be detected while sneaking by 2 meters. If you combine these 3 sets on any race, on any class, you can basically jump around a god without any problems. Literally, you can even walk into him, he won't even detect you. Being a Khajiit is a overkill, but that's what we are about, because why not? For the enchants, I did go with Swift on the jewelry because I didn't want to go with a vampire, so I have a reduced sneaking. It would break basically the theme. However, if you want to min-max the sneaking potential, go with the vampire 100%. No, nothing else to say. If you feel like we're going with a pardon me, with a overkill, You can replace Night Mother's Embrace with Night Silence. Ignore the movement penalty of Sneak. You can go with this one, because we're a Khajiit, the 2 meters, we will not suffer too much if we go with this one. Another option, you can maybe go with Saivara Scales for the 4-piece bonus. Reduce your damage taken by guards by 20%. It's a nice role-playing build set as well, so you could use this as well. However, if you enjoy some more sprinting around, you can always go with Fjord. However, there is also a cap to sprinting. I think it's around 200%, and it wouldn't be wise going above that, because it just won't work. For the skills, I went with a really simple setup. Everything is very subjective on this point. I'm using the Magnum Shot. Actually, first of all, I'm using the bow for the only reason being the last passive, Hasty Retreat. You gain major expedition after you use roll dodge. We can potentially, you can literally drop out charging maneuver, but I like charging maneuver because I don't want to engage into a fight or roll dodge in some moments. I'm using Magnum Shot to basically knock back enemies. This actually counts for guards as well and helps you out quite a bit. I'm using Concealed Weapon as a Nightblade because while slotted, it increases movement speed while sneaking or invisible by 25%. So that helps us out with sneaking quite fast. The third skill, as a Nightblade, I'm using Shadowy Disguise. We get invisibility for 3 seconds, and that's it. Also, every time you cast it, you will get some major buffs, major resistance for 6 seconds, and this will also help out quite a bit for survivability. If you want to pump those numbers up, you can always slot on Blur and go with Mirage, minor resolve, physical and spell resistance, so in total we will get over 8,000 combining these two. So yeah. The fourth skill, I'm using Leeching Strikes because even though we are not going to hit targets, every time it runs out it will give us stamina back, so that also helps quite a bit when we are, you know, sneaking around. Sneaking does take stamina, so while sneaking, every time you recast this, it can give you stamina back, and as such, keep your resources in line. And for the last skill, we are using Charging Maneuver. It gives us major and minor expedition, increasing our movement speed by 45% in total for 8 seconds. It can help out. You can drop it out if you want to roll dodge a bit. It's purely subjective. This build is only made for sneaking around, pickpocketing. That's it. It is basically a ground template that you can work in and make your own character. For the ultimate, I went with Soul Tether for the oh crap moments. Basically every time you cast it and there's enemies around you, it will heal you, it will stun them. It's just beautiful to have all in all. That's it for the skills. However, if you want to go with a back bar or with a more traditional setup, you can go with that. You can always slot in Grim Focus, you can always go with Assassin's Blade, with Executioner, you can go with the other Morph of Veil Strike if you don't like this one, but it's sneaking, like come on. You can always slot in Aspect of Terror to terrorize a couple of people. If you don't want to go PvP for the Charging Maneuver, you can always go with Path of Darkness, increasing your movement speed by 30%. You can always slot on, I don't know, Cripple, maybe Strike for a little bit more healing. You can go with more traditional with Volley, more damage, Poison Arrow, more damage, maybe dual wielding on a front bar, Hidden Blade. If you're not playing a Nightblade but you want to go with the Execute, I would recommend going with more of a Assassinate build, but that one is after this build. I will release it maybe a couple of hours later after this one drops. Sorry. You can always slot on maybe Blade Cloak because it reduces damage taken from area attacks. However, if you already slotted Mirage, it will already do that, so you don't have to do the other one. You can always slot on, instead of Charging Maneuver, Evasion as well, because Evasion gives us the damage reduction by 20% from area, and if you go with no, it's the other, Elude Morph, you will get major expedition every time you take damage, so it will help you in the oh crap situations when in towns and or escaping from guards. The important skill lines are Ledger Domain. Improves our sneaking, or basically sneaking cost by 40%, pickpocketing by 50%, trafficking making the stuff is still more expensive for us to sell. You only have a limit of so many items you can sell in the Outlaws Refugees, so keep that in mind. Locksmith, self-explanatory, and kickback in case you still want to pay a little bit of your bounty so you're not chased around. However, if you have the Thieves Guild DLC, you will find the skill line pretty useful. In that case, you can also change the fashion and go with more of a traditional Thieves Guild. However, I went full Outlaw on this one, but I'll get there later. Finders Keepers, you get Trovers, Swiftly Forgotten, Bounty Decreased when you're caught. Haggling, you have 10% more of 10% more expensive things you can sell, or basically cheaper, or how we put it. Clemency helps you out to escape from guards once in I think it's once a day, I don't know, yeah, it's once a day. Timely Escape helps you out if you're caught and you want to get to a really close Outlaws Refugee in the town, helps you out. And Veil of Shadows decreases detection range of witnesses and guards by 10%, so this will definitely help out the whole build. However, if you don't have the DLC, it's not a problem. Trust me, it's not, because with this setup you can literally jump on guards. We will get there at the end of the video. Do I recommend anything else? I don't know. I would definitely go with the medium armor setup for improved sneak passive, reducing the cost of sneak by 70% for each medium armor equipped, and reduce the size of your detection area while sneaking by 35% when you're wearing 7 armor pieces. That's it for the skills. Now for the CP. For the CP, now this time, usually I leave the green tree to do whatever the heck you want. However, on this one, it is really the only one that we want to focus on. The blue and the red tree, we really don't care, except maybe one pass in the red tree. For the green tree, we want to go with Infamous. Increase the value of fenced items by 25%, so you get the most benefit of selling the stolen items you stole. You want to focus in out of sight, reduce the radius you can be detected while sneaking by 1 meter per stage, so 3 more meters. Fleet Phantom reduces the movement speed penalty of sneak by 25%, helps us out with the speed. Really recommended, not slottable, so it's just bloody unlock it. We're going with Steed's Blessing, increasing our movement speed out of combat by 20%, helps out with sneaking as well. Sustaining Shadows, more sneak cost reduction, really beautiful. I went with Cut Purse Art. Increase the chance of getting high quality loot when pickpocketing. This will help us out with getting the stonks. However, if you want to go with a more of a brotherhood approach, yeah, I'll cover that in the next video. You know what? Yeah, I'll do that. You can always go with Friends in Low Places as well. Removes 1000 gold from your bounty once per day when committing a crime where bounty is added, and it's basically once a day thing. You can always, slot it in, use the thingy, get 1000 less bounty, then go back to another one. You can always go with Fade Away, escaping from guards wipes 25% of your current heat, but not bounties. Keep that in mind, so just that the guards don't literally attack you on sight. That's the whole purpose of this one. You can always go with Gifted Rider for more movement speed on your mount, but I think we're pretty fast enough for that. Anything else? I don't know. For the fashion, we went full Outlaw fashion. We went, I think, with the medium one. Yeah, we went with the medium one. I really like the aesthetics on this one. You can always go, if you want to go with the Nightingale aesthetics and want to go a little bit with the Nightingale theme from Skyrim, you can always slot on Unfathomable Darkness. I covered that one in my last video from the Ebon Shadow. Basically, it spawns a couple of crows that attack your enemies. You can make it a little bit more assassin-y, but not fully Brotherhood type of assassin. And then with that said, you can always go with the heavy Outlaw, because it's barely, you can barely see it, but there's a Nightingale logo right on the chest. So I think it looks pretty neat. It's a nice detail and all of that. You can always go with the Thieves Guild fashion as well. It's pretty nice, very nice actually. However, because I understand that not everyone has a Thieves Guild DLC, going with Outlaw should be a base template for working around. You can always go a little more Ebon Shadow-ish with more crows, a little bit more aggressive, more attacking, less snaking, or you can go with a more traditional Thieves Guild and the whole bounty and thingies. However, I went with the Outlaw because Outlaws are basically universal with the whole concept. For the dyes I went just black, a little bit more grey, and then Boethia for the shiny parts. I just wanted to go as vanilla as I could. But, you know, you can always go with Ebon Shadow. Jesus Christ, it looks terrible on a cat. Yeah, I would definitely recommend to avoid Ebon Shadow helmet on the cat. Maybe the heavy one? Nah, nah, we're not going Ebon Shadow on this one. But maybe combine Ebon Shadow with Outlaw Heavy to cosplay a Nightingale, maybe. It could work potentially on a humanoid rather than a cat. But I'm not a cat, sadly. And now let us go demonstrate a little bit of the sneaky things. Oh, and also I am using the Candied Jester coins. The only reason I'm using this one is it gives us more stamina to sneak with and magical recovery for our cloak ability. If you're not a Nightblade, it's not a problem. Let us get a bounty first because I think it's more appropriate that way. Thank you. As you can see, we are really fast with this build. It's not a problem. Oh, and I did forget to mention, if you're not a Nightblade but want to use the ability to go invisible, you can always craft your own invisibility potions. I forgot the recipe. However, you can always look it up on Google. Sorry for that one. I'm too lazy to search for it right now. So, since I'm on PTS, I'm using the Crown Invisibility Potion, and since I also am using glyphs of increasing the duration of potions effects, you can always go magic recovery or more stamina recovery if you're standing to give that boost into stamina. And for that reason, my invisibility potions last for 30 seconds, which is quite a bit. Now that we have a bounty, let us get rid of the invisibility thingy. Alright. As you can see, we are literally next to the enemy and we're just gonna pickpocket, easy as that. Let's find a god. Here we go. Yeah, I'm literally trying. I'm walking into him. I'm jumping on him. That's how sneaky this is. Quite sneaky. However, do keep in mind you will still be detected if your pickpocketing fails. There we go. Blue stuff. Now we're detected. Nope. Well, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in a couple of hours.